Hey y'all, we back. Time to talk about Married at First Sight. Make sure you're coming into the video, you're liking, and you're also subscribing to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and get into these individuals. Now, first things first, everybody is moving into their new apartments, right? And what I noticed was Rhonda sitting up here talking about something, she needs some space, but she decided to bring these two dogs along. Now, of course, Pat may not have an issue with her bringing along these two dogs, but I just feel like I don't recall them having this talk for real about her bringing these dogs, and you talking about needing space, but you don't think that Pat ass gonna need some space when you're going on these long walks? Are you gonna take the dogs with you? I would hope, or are you gonna be expecting him to take care of the dogs while you go and you get your walks and you do what you want to do? Because Rhonda does come off as a person that can be a bit unfair. All right. Okay, it's all about me, 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 me. It's not about you, 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 you. It's what she gives. Now, Brittany and Will, all right. Brittany and now wants to be honest and acknowledge that, her man has been affectionate towards her, right? And he does want her. So she's now being honest, like, okay, he does want me. You've been very affectionate to me. I appreciate that. But she still has that insecurity, right? Based on how her parents' relationship has been, they weren't really touchy feely, huggy, lovey dovey, all of that. But she says that she is learning. So continue to learn. Meanwhile, you got Megan and Derek. He finally meets her dog Zoe. These two have had a conversation about Zoe coming to be with him, right? And her dog typically sleeps in the bed with her, and he doesn't seem to like that at all, right? But he isn't going to say anything at this particular time, but you could tell he don't want the dog in the damn bed. And I feel like he need to go ahead and say something. And at some point, I believe he does say something, but it also comes off, if it didn't do it this episode, maybe it was last episode, where it was a situation like that's gonna happen. Like at the end of the day, like she gonna have the dog in the bed. And I'm like, it made sense for the dog to be in your bed when you were single, but now you got a partner. Why the fuck do you need the dog in the bed now? Like, I don't know. I don't like it. But anywho, Josh told Jalen that he loves her, and she said it back. So I think they're the first couple to admit that they love each other and they're progressing forward. Now, Brittany brings Will to her home because, of course, she wants to impress Will. Like, yeah, this is like my biggest accomplishment. A lot of kids my age or people my age haven't bought a house, but I did, and I want you to see what it is that I did. You know what I'm saying? I done bought me a house. Woo, look at it, look at it, look at it. And this too could be your home, possibly, right? If you continue this process with me and want to go beyond this show and be married, look at her home. So she's trying to really show him, and Will really came off as unimpressed. And maybe he was impressed, but he didn't really show that he was impressed. It was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You got a house. Like, okay, cool. And from Brittany's neck of the woods, maybe that's a big thing. But for him and his neck of the woods, it may be like something that's common. Like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You got a house. Like, cool. All right. Bet. I don't know. But she wanted him to react to her the same way Rhonda wanted Pat to react to the fact that her house had been robbed, which is why she keeps her TV on. Like, she wanted the big old, what? This is your home? Like it was a mansion or something. Like that's what she wanted. But he didn't give her that. So Brittany didn't like that he didn't give her much of a reaction, all right? But when it came to her clothes, he did give a reaction. Like, you trying to take all these clothes with you? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, there's no way you're going to have enough time to wear all of these clothes. So, of course, she gets frustrated. She's mad now. She's like, damn, so you can talk about my clothes, but you can't talk about the greatness of my house? What kind of stuff you on? I don't like you like that. Okay, so she's upset. Now he says that she told him how much of a good communicator she is, and she'll let him know when she upset because she kind of walks out the room. I think she went into the closet or something trying to pack her stuff, and then he was trying to help her. Then he asked her something, and she was like, "I'll do it." So you could tell that she was irritated. But he's like, "Well, she told me how much of a good communicator she is, so I just want her to do that." If she's upset, whatever she got going on, I'm gonna trust that she gonna come let me know, right? Because you're such this great communicator. He doesn't want to keep badgering her because he feels like that could further upset her. So he just gonna let her be in her moment and stuff, right? She don't like that when she's in her moment. She's one of those people where she wants you to like run behind her. Okay, she wants you to show her more that you care. She wants you to go the extra mile. So the things that you see, it's crazy because the things he thinks to himself that he shouldn't do in an effort to irritate her or not irritate her, those are the very things that she wants him to do. I'm gonna give her space because obviously that's what she needs, but really she doesn't want the space. She wants you to run after her. And child, I'm exhausted just talking about it. Let's get to Pat and Rhonda because we get to her house, and the first thing I noticed was the fact that the TVs were off. So you keep the TVs on, right? When you ain't there, but as soon as we walk in, all the TVs in the damn house is off. Maybe the kids or somebody went over there or production cut the TV off. Who knows? Now, Pat, he look at the house, he's impressed, right? Pat is impressed. Pat tells her, like, yo, this house really looks like you. This house is giving you all day long. And you know what? I like that, so that would be interesting if I can go ahead and just get my stuff and move in with you. And she like, wait a minute, big fella. I holler. I said, baby, Pat is ready to move in. Mr. Pat, who moved there to help his mother get through whatever she needs to get through because his dad passed away 3 years ago. Mr. Pat ready to jump ship on his damn mama and go ahead and move in with her. I cannot. So was you living with your ex? That's the other question she should have been asking. I know you was living with your mama and you just broke up with somebody 6 months ago, but were you living with that person? That person put you out, you had to go back to your mama house. What's the real reason you really came here? Did you come here to help out your mama, or did you come here for a whole other relationship? Like, I don't know. Pat still gives a mystery to me. Am I the only one? Because some of the stuff Pat be saying still don't make no sense. But anywho, now, she pretty much tells him, wait a minute, we're going to have to talk about that, okay? Because I'm not really ready for us to be cohabitating in that type of fashion. I can't say that I'm going to want to live with you after, okay? After we come up out this process and living in these apartments together. In addition, you're trying to move into my house. It's not like you got a house for me to go and move into. And let me tell y'all something. For Rhonda, I need Rhonda to do further research on Pat. I just need her to ask more questions. I need her to ask more questions, especially when you were once upon a time a woman that was taking care of a man that didn't want to get a job, a man that you had 4 children with. I don't know what Pat has to his name or if his wife took it all in his previous 30-year marriage, but Rhonda needs to find this information out because it's really given at this point. Rhonda don't really like Pat like that, even though she wants the steady companionship. Rhonda, I think you might be better off continuing to date around. Continue to date, deal with who you deal with, and hopefully you'll find your partner that way. But I feel like Rhonda's issue is really late at night. When it's late at night and she lonely, she by herself, she wish she had somebody she could cuddle up to, talk to, all of that. But during the daytime, Rhonda ain't stunned having no damn partner. For real, for real. So I think Rhonda should really just date. Just continue to date these people, hang out, maybe get your little piece of hunch on because we know you love to hunch, Miss Rhonda. But Pat is not it. And I just don't think that at this age in her life, she should be reversing and taking on somebody like Pat. Now, Pat may be cool though. Nice guy, all of that. But, and sometimes life situations happen to where, people find themselves in a difficult spot. And obviously, I would want to believe that that's what happened with his marriage. But it's just something about his story that does not make sense to me. And he's so ready to move into Rhonda's house based on his reaction to it. And it just made, I just have questions. And I think Rhonda should have those too. But let's get to Megan and Derek, right? Because for the first time, her dog did sleep in the bed with them that night. And Derek talked about how he could barely get some sleep, right? He said he could barely get some sleep. He feels like he's on her side or something like that, he was saying, right? So at least, or yeah, I think he said he felt like he was on her side or something, or maybe I said that. But either way, with the dog being in the bed, the dog is just used to it being the dog, Zoe, and Megan. That's what the dog is used to. But you are technically on her side, even though you really ain't. And I do not like the fact that Megan moved into this situation with him and did not look like ahead, did not think ahead, did not consider how he would feel. She didn't even consider how her dog would really feel about this man occupying its space. I feel so much of a way about that. Like, it's like he didn't even really get an option. I don't even think she asked him how he feels about the dog sleeping in the bed. And I feel a way about that. Like, get her a bed of her own. Get her a bed of her own. Y'all need to start training her as now. Get her a bed of her own to sleep in my personal. Because if y'all start having kids, she gonna feel like she entitled to be in the same damn bed as the child too. Like, she needs to get an understanding that this bed is for you over here off the side of the bed. And I just it's really the fact that Megan, I just don't think he was considered at all. I don't think she even thought about it. I think she operated this situation just like her mama would operate. full control, could care less about how you feel, this is what we're doing. I think that does not make a recipe for a long-term relationship in my personal. But anywho, with that, um I just felt the way about Megan. I'm going back to this because I feel a way that Megan did not mention this or get his thoughts or consider him when it came down to this dog sleeping in the bed, but had the audacity to say that her ass felt ambushed back in Panama when all he was trying to do was express himself. That's it. But you felt ambushed. You don't think he felt ambushed with this damn dog being in the bed? Like, BIT, you got this dog barking at him the entire night on the first night. And then the next morning, I believe it was an issue of her wanting him to walk the dog. And it's like the dog been barking at him all damn night, and you have the audacity to expect him to walk your fucking dog the next morning. You are her mom and you are your mom all in one. I just don't like that. Like, Megan, you really got on my damn nerves with that girl. The dog been barking at him all night, and then you tell him to go walk the dog. Like, are you out your fucking mind? This dog don't even really like me like that. Like, girl, what? There was no warm-up session. There was nothing. And the fact that she didn't even think about that, like, it just, I don't know. She just really pissed me off this episode. Megan did. She got on my damn nerves. Like, I'm just not, I'm not gonna hold y'all. So he tells her that she's bringing in a dog into this relationship and that he was never asked to do things with the dog alone, right? And I'm like, she really be more excited to see the damn dog than she be excited to see him, in all honesty. So he says she asked him again to walk her, and he said no. And then eventually he gave in, like, let me just go walk the dog. I feel like he often finds himself just giving in and like, okay, let me just, to avoid conflict. And I don't think that should, that's how it's supposed to go. But now she's getting mad at him and gonna tell him that you don't ever have to walk her anymore. You don't have to walk her anymore. I said the moment she said that, I guarantee you she was thinking in her head how she was going to be done with his ass, for real. Because she's not getting her way. Also, she feels rejected, that he's not interested in doing that. That's what I think. Mm. But I mean, he's not really not into you. He's not trying to reject you. He's just trying to set boundaries and expectations on what the dog duties are. You and your feelings. So she just like, you ain't got to walk my dog again. You don't have to walk her anymore. And then follows it up with saying, I want you to want to walk my dog. And if you don't want to, then you don't have to. First of all, BITCH, I hate to say it. First of all, ma'am, I want you to ask me ahead of time, right? How I feel and how this should go. I want us to set up boundaries and standards ahead of time, instead of you doing SHI and then getting quote unquote permission later. I don't know where that may have worked anywhere else in your life, but it's not finna work over here. Okay? We gonna have to do this together. It's gonna have to be some compromise. We're gonna have to work this thing out. We need to figure it out. Okay? So yeah, hell no. I want you to want to walk the dog. And I want you to ask me how the fuck I feel in the beginning. And she already knew how he felt. And she could tell, like, when you with your partner, whoever you talking to, like, you could get a vibe off of their body. You can get a read off their body for how they may feel about a situation. And I think she knew how he felt the whole time about having a dog and a dog sleeping in the bed. But I feel like she never asked, because that way she could act like, oh, we didn't even have the conversation, or you didn't talk about it, or whatever. She didn't want to hear out his mouth how he really felt, even though she already damn knew. Like, I can't. I can't. So then he goes on to say, this is new territory for me, and he doesn't believe his expectations were on the right level or something. And I didn't like how he phrased that, because I feel like he phrased it as if all of this is his fault. And I don't believe that is his fault. Okay. It may be a combined fault, but it's not solely on you, right? It's a combined fault because you didn't express yourself earlier on for what it is you didn't want. Right. And the other part was, I don't feel like she inquired or gave a damn enough, like I just said. So it may be a y'all's fault, but all of this ain't on you. And I don't like how he positioned that, like my expectations weren't at the right level, and this is new for me, as if this is your fault, and it's not. So he also says that she was like, the dog is sleeping in the bed, no compromise, non-compromise, non-negotiable. Like, that's what it is. That's how he felt when it came down to him wanting to really say, I don't want this dog in this bed. She made him feel like, I don't give a damn how you feel. This is what we doing. So then he says that he's been compromising a lot. And she gonna say, I mean, I have too. I've been compromising a lot. So he says, well, tell me what you've been compromising on. Do y'all know she couldn't answer the question? She couldn't answer the question, but instead she threw the situation back on him. And I'm so glad that he brought it right back and said, well, you said that you've been compromising a lot. So, I just would like for you to give me some examples. I said, that's how you do that. Don't let her be able to skate out of this. Like, nah, you tell me what the fuck have you been compromising on so we could talk about it. So she says, cleaning things. He's like, so what's using different products? So basically, it sounds like she's trying to make it seem like he don't clean, but really he does clean. He just doesn't use the same products that your ass use. If this, and I'm going to keep going back to her mama. If this don't sound like her mama, if this don't sound like a controlling person, because he's not using the products you want him to use, are you okay? Get that shit clean. That's my main thing. Get the shit clean. Get it clean. Right? So then when he says, like, we using, different products, like, that's what you talking about. She says, you're being a dick. Why he got to be a dick? And this is what I'm saying. So if you call him a dick, but if he tell you that he felt ambushed by you calling him a dick, then you would turn around and make it seem like, oh, well, you just hurt my feelings. I can't believe you said that. And I can't believe you did that. And oh my gosh, Derek, I'm the victim, and victim this and victim that. Like, that's what you would have done. So to say that, I feel like that's calling him out his name. You're being a dick. Like, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. So he says, I'm just saying, I compromise on a lot. Right? And he didn't say anything about the dog being in the bed. You should have. You should have said something. And she says, if he's going to use it against her, then I'm pissed off. What? That's because you so used to operating out of an area of perfection, and he's not really using anything against you. He's trying to communicate with your ass. So for your mama to sit up there and say, oh, I have a 40+ year marriage and I love my husband and yada yada, and I get so excited seeing him come through the door, girl, all of that gives is, to me, is her caring about how other people perceive their relationship. Because obviously y'all also didn't have no good tools to bestow upon your damn daughter, because she also operated in that same damn perfection, like everything got to be right, and then when it's not, then oh my God, I feel like you're using it against me. I'm pissed off now. I refuse to believe that your mama didn't show up that same way with your daddy while she around here talking about, I don't love him. I still get so happy to see him and smell his dirty drawers. Anyway, so then she says that she deals with the fact that he doesn't put the toilet seat down and she doesn't bitch about it. But then you tell him that you'll let him know if it becomes a problem for you. But okay. Again, that's your fault. Speak up. Speak up. Okay? Because I could have sworn he even asked you about the damn toilet seat and what your thoughts were about the toilet seat. You ain't even asked him about the damn dog sleeping with him. I don't recall, but y'all let me know in the comments. Anywho, I also don't know if that's really a compromise, but okay. When you fed up, I guess you will speak on it. I guess you wasn't fed up enough. He was fed up. Like, BIT, your dog barked at me all night. I couldn't get no fucking sleep. And then you turn around and want me to walk this motherfucking dog early in the morning? Hell no. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I wouldn't have did this shit either. Be mad. we just gonna be mad today. Okay? You ain't trying to usher me into, like, I'm not gonna do it. I know we jumped into this marriage, but you better usher me into this relationship with your fucking dog. Like, I'm not gonna do it. So, anywho, Derek says that this is showing red flags to him. Okay? He says if they aren't able to talk about things, this is a red flag. And she get upset, she go in the bathroom. So he sit there, and now he always got to be the bigger person. So he goes over there trying to talk to her. He says he doesn't mind walking the dog. And see, it's like, here you go, Derek. And I'm sure you don't mind walking the dog, but here you are. She's still getting her way in a sense. And I don't think that's compromise. I don't think that's an actual relationship. If ultimately she's still kind of getting her way. Like, I mean, I don't mind walking the dog. I'll walk the dog. If it's going to make you happy, I'll walk the dog. And that's not how that goes. She need to know how you really feel. But anywho, he goes on to say that he didn't know things were supposed to be shared when it came to the dog. He didn't know that. Some people may feel like, duh, it's shared. Y'all a married couple. Not necessarily, right? When you have one partner that wants an animal or a car or whatever the case is, that's your responsibility to pay those and keep that up. People operate differently. And that's why you have to have these conversations. And all he's saying is, we didn't talk about this. We did not talk. I didn't know I was supposed to be in charge and responsible for your dog, especially this earlier on. I didn't know that. Right. So he says he was never asked about the dog sleeping in the bed with him. I ain't think so. Right. And then he says he was told that's what's going to happen, though. He wasn't asked about whether he wanted the dog there. And whether he was asked that or not, she still posted like that's going to happen, period. So he says they need to communicate more on this before it gets, heated. It's already gotten heated. And she says she would prefer that over the feeling. She says, I would prefer that we work this out and figure things out before it get heated. I would prefer that over feeling ambushed. She is getting on my fucking nerves with this ambush term. I need you to stop thinking that your partner coming to you, expressing him damn self to you, is him ambushing you. What it is that you do not like to hold yourself accountable for your fuck shit because you operate from a space of perfection. And you operate from a space of wanting to be in control all the goddamn time. And I'm seeing why your other relationships did not work out. He just trying to talk to you. If I'm talking to my partner and I'm expressing myself, and every time they talk to me, they talking about some fucking I ambush them, we ain't got to talk no more. We do. Don't worry about it. We ain't got to talk no fucking more because you're not used to the tough conversations. That's what's happening here. I can't. Miss Perfect Patty. I'm so sick of this ambush word. Then gonna say that she maybe does things that are demanding, basically. Like I may do stuff that may be demanding, and doesn't realize that, she does things this way. I may be demanding at times, but she don't really realize that she's that way. And I'm like, but the fact that you even know that you are demanding should be enough for you to know that you do shit that way. Maybe you don't realize you're doing it in that moment, but you really do. And honestly, for me, her walking off at times and storming off, I feel like that's a form of manipulation for me. And that's why I cannot rock out with that with her, because I'm like, Derek, if y'all don't have a real talk about this shit now, she's going to continue those same tactics to manipulate you in an effort to get whatever it is that she wants. Just like I feel you gave in the last time when, yeah, I ambushed her when I came to her and told her how I feel, like she doesn't ask me enough questions. I shouldn't have did that. Right? When you ain't do nothing wrong. You ain't do nothing wrong. Now you upset. You ain't gotta walk the dog no more. I want you to want to walk the dog. Get upset, go in the bathroom. What you do? Follow behind her. The same shit Britney really be wanting from Will. Follow up behind her and then be on some I don't mind walking the dog. I don't mind walking the dog. Bitch, yes, the fuck I do. I don't care. I do mind walking this motherfucking dog, especially in the morning times. I don't have to get up as early as you to report to work. You're already up. This is your dog. This is something you've been doing. Okay? I hate to say it. So if I was not here, what would you be doing? Getting your ass up, making your schedule earlier so that you can go out and walk this dog. Now, I'm not saying I won't walk the dog because I work from home, right? So I'll walk the dog throughout the day. But in the mornings will likely be something for me I would not compromise on, considering the fact that I got to get up early, considering the fact that I don't have to get up early in the morning. And that was already a part of your routine. I don't like that. And I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all would have to let me know. And that's probably not the best way to handle things either. But I just, and honestly, like, we don't have dogs. I would love to have a dog. But if I had a dog, I'm not going to be expecting my husband to break his sleep to walk a dog that I really wanted. Okay, my husband don't want no dogs. Okay, he really don't. Okay, but if I got one, I already know. For me, I wouldn't even. First of all, he would warm up to the dog at some point. Duh. However, in the beginning, like, I'm not gonna have him getting up for a dog that I wanted to have. Just me, like this. You know what I'm saying? Just to me, I wouldn't even feel right. with that. Like, yeah, I just, I don't like that. If I it's and the thing for me, and I feel like that's the reason why I also see it this way. I'm a morning person. Husband, not so much. He's slowly becoming one, but not so much, right? So I'm already up because I know if it was me and it was a dog that he wanted this dog and I didn't, don't wake me up out my sleep. Walk your dog. It don't mean that I won't help you out with the dog later on in the day, but I'm not gonna get up. That's your dog. Okay. So that's just how I feel about that. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts, but I'm just like, I don't think that's fair. You're already up. You was already fucking doing it. He gonna look after the dog for the rest of the damn day, take care of the dog, feed the dog, let the dog go out, do what he gotta do, and probably gonna do that evening too. So but one thing I'm not compromising on is the dog in my fucking bed. Like, hell no. Okay. And I know we would agree on that. But like, nah, you got your own area. Okay. You got your own area. Go get in it. Period. Now then, right? So we get to that, and she says that she wants him to say in the moment how he feels, right? When he feels a certain way, to say it in that moment. And I'm so confused because it does not matter if he feels a way in that moment. When he feels a way in that moment, you're still gonna make him feel like you were fucking ambushed. Go away from me with this. Pastor Cal comes over to visit them, and I'm cool with that. I'm like, all right. I feel like in the past episodes, it took a minute for Pastor Cal and them to come, but I like the fact that Pastor Cal came over. And, Derek is not okay with this dog situation, but he doesn't want her to feel ambushed in front of Pastor Cal. So when Pastor Cal, and not so much as, the dog situation, I feel like it's other things that's bothering Derek. But when Pastor Cal asked how they're doing, Derek, I feel, gave like a generic answer. So her ass don't feel ambushed. Because now that Pastor Cal is there, right? She don't want to be aired out in front of him. So it's just, something about Miss Girl. So she says that she thinks Derek wants to be heard and, not throw it on him pretty much. Like, I want to have a heads up. I want you to hear me. I want to have a heads up. Don't just make decisions for me. That's a problem. So Derek says, yeah, the check-in would have been good in the beginning. So Pastor Cal says that, he's glad they were able to talk things out and, figure out the communication, right? Because the goal is to over communicate with each other, especially when it's conflict. Like, don't run away from it, sit in it, talk about it, over communicate with your partner, right? If you leave, he needs to know that you're coming back, right? And so she says she's getting better or whatever, and I don't believe that she's getting better. Anywho, Derek tells Pastor Cal the good things about the relationship, but what he'd want more of in this relationship is space to bring things up that bother him, because she don't like confrontation, right? And I'm just like, when he comes to you, he don't even approach you on some type of aggressive manner, right? He don't even approach you like that. He approach you like, hey, can we have a talk? And you get so offended and on the defense and all of that. I ain't got time. So she says that she feels like he is aloof with Zoe. Here's the thing. Pastor Cal asked them, what do you enjoy about this and what would you want more of? Instead of her ass telling what it is that she likes, she immediately goes to the negative because she feels a way, basically, that he called her out in a sense in front of Pastor Cal by just saying, I just wish that we had more space for me to bring up things without it being an issue or whatever. Because she don't like to be confronted or whatnot, right? So instead of her talking about, well, these are the things that I really like and I would love more of, she didn't do that. She just went straight to, I feel like he's aloof when he's with Zoe. Yeah, he's aloof. I can't. And so he's like, well, next time, just say that to me. And she looks at Pastor Cal like, you see the harsh tone? You see the harsh tone? And that pissed me off because now in front of Pastor Cal, it looks as though Derek is the problem when he's not. Now, granted, it did give off a little bit, whatever Pastor Cal goes on to say, something about him being in like rebuttal mode. Like, next time, just say that to me, right? He was right about that part. Like, like it was a rebuttal part, but at the end of the day, let's not act like Derek is the overall problem here. Right. And what I didn't like was Megan wanted she wanted Derek to feel just how she was feeling a little second ago. It's giving tit for fucking tat. if you ask me. So Pastor Cal tells him that he went right into rebuttal mode, right? And I felt like she was loving that Pastor Cal was checking him, right? And I'm like, Pastor Cal, you need to see her show her ass. And I think that he does kind of see it behind the scenes or whatever when he's watching them on camera or getting updates or whatnot. But she was loving that he was getting checked, right? But anywho, because her saying, did what was also a problem for me was her saying, did I hit a trigger? For Pastor Carol to make it seem like Derek was the problem because he was in rebuttal mode, she says, did I hit a trigger? That was so fucking unnecessary. That was so unnecessary. So she was loving that Pastor Cal was getting on to Derek. And I really didn't like that sit down because it really made to me Derek look like he was the overall problem when I don't think that he is. Let's get to Britney and Will. So Pastor Cal arrives and they can't even tell Pastor Cal about the good things that's happened between the both. But they can't tell Pastor Cal about the issues that they got. So Brittany says one of the major issues that they have, or at least that they're having, is that she wears her emotions on her face and she communicates, right? And when it comes to him, he doesn't really react at all. And she said she brought him to her house and he didn't give no reaction. But when it came down to her clothes and stuff like that, that's when he did react, right? And he asked, how do you want a person to react to your home? I think that was a crazy question to ask. I think that was a crazy question to ask. So Pastor Cal says, listen, it's bigger than a house, all right? She wants to know that you care about the things that she cares about. And that's true. That's a very true statement. So Cal says the big issue is mind reading because he can't read your mind. She says that she tells herself not to say anything because she doesn't want him to respond negatively, right, about it or whatever. She doesn't want him to have such a bad reaction to things at all. So she doesn't, right? She says she don't know where she stands with him about stuff, right? But when she does ask him things, she feels like, she don't really get a response. So basically, if something, so basically, what she's saying is, if there's an issue, pretty much just tell me. Like, I can't get a read on you. I don't know if I'm doing things good, bad. Like, I don't know. Like, you ain't telling me nothing. Like, what's going on? Like, what's up in your head? Like, what's up here? So Will brings up the intimacy thing, and he didn't want to do it because the last time they did it, he felt uncomfortable, right? And she felt rejected, and she also felt triggered, right? Based on the past, when people would pull away from her or pull back from her after she done hunched on them. Okay. And then, of course, him not wanting to do that with her again. Now it done went from he's pulling himself away from me to now I feel rejected as if it wasn't good and he didn't enjoy it and he don't really like me like that. So now she got all this in her head. So she says she wanted him to tell her she was okay and comfort and cover her. And Will says that he does want her, and Brittany struggles with vulnerability out of fear that she'll be hurt again, right? And Pastor Cal tells her that she has to be vulnerable and trust that she can show who she really is and what her weaknesses are, right? And trust that he's going to cover her weaknesses, right? And Pastor Cal is right, but also, I mean, with her having to trust that, I do think Will has to show something though. And I think for her, when she gives him those moments for her to trust him, like when she storms off or she walks off, she expects him in those moments to show her that, but he doesn't. And that's where they also continue to have further issue, and it makes her think that he doesn't care and stuff. So Will tells her next time they have a disagreement, he will do his best to be there and for whatever, right? And if there's an argument or whatever, he says he's not gonna run him away. That's what he reassures her in that moment, right? He hugs her and stuff. So that was cute. And she says next time she'll listen to him and accept his words for what they are and not internalize things. Okay? Internalize and project. Let's not do that. But they had a good sit down for them for the most part. Now, when Pat and Rhonda go, Dr. Pia comes to meet with them, right? And you could tell, like, Pat is growing so annoyed with Rhonda because before Dr. Pia comes, Rhonda is talking about some bike club or whatever. I guess she's trying to get him active and up out the house and away from her. And so he sees what she's doing, though, in my opinion. So he's like, I mean, yeah, I'm going to do that anyway because that's just how I am. I got my own bike club that I know people over there. I could just ask them about it. I don't really need you to tell me that because it seems like you're trying to force me off on somebody to get me from around you. And it's like, I don't know why you acting like that when I want my own space too. That's how I felt Pat was coming off with Rhonda. So Dr. Pia arrives and Rhonda says that she's grateful to be with a man who is open to see where he can do some work and he's open to listening to her. That's my problem with you. A man that's open to doing some work. Yes, that is good to have a man that's open to doing some work and taking critique. My problem with you, Rhonda, is that you ain't open to the same shit. You're not open to the same critique that if somebody had that about you, you'll be over here crying and getting emotional as you do right before this meeting ends. So Pat says he was intentional to listening to her at her home visit, right? And Rhonda brings up, she's like, well, no. You don't be intentional to listen to me because you just did something not too long ago. You see how she's so ready to call him out as if she's Miss Perfect Patty her damn self? And this the shit her kids was talking about, right? So Rhonda brings up the bike riding combo and how she told him about a group and he never, and he came off like he never asked her that. Like, how you know that? Like, wow, XYZ, whatever. So instead, he immediately jumped to, I know people. This is what she's saying, like, I know people. I don't need you to tell me nothing type of thing, right? So Dr. Pia is like, well, Rhonda girl, let's pause, right? Let's take a pause because you're doing too damn much. Let's pause. All right. And she pretty much tells her she needs to rephrase that. Like, let's rephrase that. Rhonda says that she doesn't feel hurt when she tells him things that could help him. It's about how you say it. Maybe that's why, right? So Pat feels like he's just trying to be open to it. Okay, Pat's like, I'm just trying to be open. Dr. Pia says that she feels like he is giving a political word, right? And she's like, be honest, like how you really feeling. He said, I feel attacked. Right, but he don't really want to say he feel attacked. He also knows that he is a people pleaser, and if he knows he's going to say things that's going to make a person feel bad, then he won't say it. Like just him saying that he feels attacked with how she's coming at him, then he ain't gonna say it because he don't want her to feel away. And maybe that's the word that Miss Megan be looking for. I feel attacked, right? I feel ambushed. And the reason why there is such a difference between the two, not just the words, but more so, even if Megan would say that she felt attacked, it's like he don't approach you on an attack mode. He's calm. He sits with you. He's talking, and he's just like, hey, I think this right here. Da, da, da. He's trying to have a real conversation and you just can't take it. Meanwhile, with Rhonda and how Rhonda talked to Pat, Rhonda just like on some, it's weird, okay? Her energy is a bit different with her approach to him. Okay. Like, you need to go do this. You need to go do that. You da 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 da. Like, she ain't got no filter, basically. Now, Dr. Pia asked him if he knows what a safe space looks like for him. And he says a safe space for him looks like, how did he say it? He was like, a safe space for me, it doesn't look like eliciting a strong response or something like that. It doesn't elicit a strong response. Like, I shouldn't have to have a strong response or something. And so he says she's very direct. She's very direct, and her directness can come out elevated, right? So she's a very direct person. Like I said, she ain't got no filter, but then also she be kind of loud with it, right? So Rhonda's body language changed at that point. So she mad. She mad. So it's okay for you to jump and call him out in front of Dr. Pia. But when he's being honest, right? Because keep in mind, Dr. Pia didn't ask you to call him out. You immediately jumped to call him out. Now, Dr. Pia is pulling things out of him that he would not say, asking questions, and now you want to get in your damn feelings. I can't. So Pat feels like what he tells her makes her feel defensive. And she says that she wasn't aware of how he feels and how she can fix it if she doesn't know. And although that is true, are you going to receive it the way that you dish it? She feels like he should tell her how he feel in that moment. And to me, that's similar to Megan, when Megan feels like her guy should tell her in that moment how he feel, but is it going to matter when y'all are going to get on the defense anyway? So Dr. Pia tells her when he's being honest with you, you get defensive, you pull back. And that's why he don't say anything out of fear that you're going to have that same reaction and pull away from him. That's why. So Rhonda is now saying that it's very hurtful for her, and she says that she goes, says it goes back to where we started from the beginning. She says that she feels like all this energy in the beginning, but now it's like because I'm who I am, I must have done some shitty things. So basically, it kind of takes her back to other past relationships, right? Everybody likes this energy. They like what I'm giving off. They like who I am, and then over time, everybody gets sick of it. Yeah, because you about don't know when to turn it on and when to turn it off, right? So they tired. Right. So because that's what happened in all her past relationships, she feels like she's the problem. And I hate to say it, but you are. Just a little piece. And to somebody out here in this world, you're not the problem. Somebody else is going to be able to wholeheartedly handle and deal with your ass. So Dr. Pia says that he's not your ex. Right? She thinks he's saying those things, yeah, I'm not sure what she said, but anywho, she says Dr. Pia says that he's not your ex, right? And she also goes on to say, or at least he says that he doesn't think her personality is a flaw. He likes those things about her. He says that he has to work on how he receives her directness. So once again, he's putting it off on himself. Like maybe he needs to work on how he receives her directness. But I don't think you receiving her directness is the issue. I think it's more so when you react and tell her how you feel, she could get exactly how she got, withdrawn, distant. So it's not so much as how you receive her directness, it's more so about how you react to her. So he says, he has to work on letting her know how her directness make him feel in that moment and how he responds, right? And he wants to grow with her and tell her, that he loves her and he appreciates her. So this is like the second person to tell somebody, the second guy to tell the other partner that he loved them, right? I believe it is. Or did Chad tell it to Belinda? Not sure. But Pat, Rhonda, she didn't say it back. If anything, Rhonda said she needed to take a break. So she go and take her dogs for a walk, and she says she's so afraid now to open up and be honest with him because, of his past relationship, right? Because of his past relationship, and she also feels like she's afraid to open up with him because he's probably gonna open up less to her out of fear of how she's going to respond. So now she just don't know what the hell to do. Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see how that's gonna play out for everybody, child. That's what's going on over there at Married at First Sight. Okay, episode 6. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF. Got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I could face the rim. Putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it